Hello, Janan, and welcome to my channel and welcome to AWS Heroes in Conversation, right? So, Janan,
Hello.
hello. So, team everyone, today we have Janan with us and he's going to share about his cloud journey and how he started building AWS communities. So, Janan, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to our viewers?
First of all, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to speak with you and to share some insights and experience regarding the AWS community in Bosnia and Herzegovina. My name is Dzenan Dzevlan. I'm coming from Bosnia and Herzegovina, Europe, and we started with AWS community here in Bosnia back in 2016. Me personally, I started working with AWS back in 2012, I think, and from 2012 until 2016, I worked with one local company here in my home city, Mostar. After that, I started collaborating with the international clients, uh, and also I met Alexander Nenov from Novi Sad. He was the first AWS user group leader on Balkans region. He started the AWS user group Novi Sad, and I met him on Twitter. Basically, I shared one of my first blog posts about AWS CLI with Alexander, and Alexander got back to me with the feedback, and he was like an inspiration to start with the AWS community in Bosnia. When
Okay.
we started, when we started our first user group at our first meetup, we had like no one attended the meetup, and that was a huge disappointment. But we didn't stop there. We continued to work, and after the first meetup, on the second meetup, we had like 30 attendees, and it started through growing up. Now in Bosnia and Herzegovina, we have 3 user groups with more than 700 members, and I think that we are the largest IT community in Bosnia.
Nice, nice. So that's how your
I
AWS journey started, it seems like. So it's been quite a ride so far from zero people coming or nobody attending the group. So I hope now we have a significant number of followers.
Yes, and basically, I think that AWS changed my life in the way that I couldn't imagine that it happened. So through the AWS user group and through the different activities, we are trying to make an impact on other people's life and to be a positive change in our community. That's the reason why we started different programs through our AWS user group community, like boot camps, mentorship
Mhm.
programs to involve more and more students to work with AWS to get up to speed with the cloud technologies and basically with the trends in IT industry.
I believe you recently did a AWS boot camp at one of your local universities. So can you tell our viewers a little bit more about that as to how you went about doing that boot camp?
Yes, it was at our local university here in Mostar, Faculty of Information Technologies, in collaboration with the professors from the university. We started like 12 weeks AWS bootcamp to help people to get AWS certification, and focus was on the students. So the students get an opportunity to learn about AWS, but also to achieve their AWS certificate. And that would have as a consequence to help them to get their first job faster, and also to avoid that some kind of the period before getting the first job where you need to spend some time
Mhm.
working without any kind of the money benefits for the before you start with your first work. So we try through that AWS bootcamp to help students to get some hands-on experience, but also besides hands-on experience to get AWS certification, which would give additional value to their CVs.
So are you trying to kind of have AWS as part of the curriculum in any of these universities, or is it just going to be limited to boot camps? Is it going to be a formal education around, AWS, or maybe overall cloud that you're trying to get to the universities?
That's some kind of the end goal, and that's something on which we are actively working. My sister Dzenan Dzevlan, she is AWS community builder.
Okay.
She's collaborating closely with the universities all around the country, and starting from February this year, we will have a separate class on the International Birch University in Sarajevo with DevOps on Cloud curriculum, where the main on that subject main focus will be on DevOps and cloud with focus on AWS. Janana will lead that effort, and we have already more than 20 students registered for that class.
Nice.
And that's the first university, and we expect to spread across the country. We are a small country, 3.5 million people. But anyhow, we think that by having AWS cloud in general as part of the curriculum at the universities, we will increase chances of the students to achieve the best possible job inside the IT industry.
Sure. So along with AWS Bootcamp, I believe you're also working on the DevOps mentorship program. Isn't that correct?
Well,
can you share some information around that?
Yes, that's correct. Well, after this AWS Bootcamp on the Faculty of Information Technologies, that was like on-premise bootcamp, and I got a lot of messages, emails, where people were asking, is there any option to attend online? And that was like inspiration for me to start this mentorship program. It's 6 months mentorship program on Balkan region languages, where I will try to help people through one-on-one sessions, weekly classes, office hours, to help them to become DevOps, site reliability engineers, platform engineers, cloud engineers, whatever, to gain some skills which are needed today to work with the cloud technologies, starting from the infrastructure as code, different scripting languages, etc. And I announced that program on LinkedIn sometimes in December. And I was quite surprised with the number of people who registered. We had almost 200 people registered. I didn't expect that amount of people, to be honest. And I had to increase the number of the attendees. My first initial idea was to have 10 people attending those classes, because to have enough time to have one-on-one sessions and meetings with them, to be able to mentorship on the proper way. But when I saw how many people registered, then I involved my friend from Montenegro, Marin Racenovic, who is also an AWS community builder and AWS user group leader in Montenegro. Together with Janana, he will help me during that mentorship program. We will also try to include some other regional speakers, experts in their fields. For example, if someone is expert with Golang, we'll try to have class, for example, how to use Golang effectively with AWS, how to build some kind of the CLI tool, and how to use that tool in your day-to-day work. This mentorship program will also include sponsorship for the certification, AWS related certificates, DevOps solution architect. Also, it will involve sponsorship for the Kubernetes certification. And besides certification, one-on-one sessions, it will include also tasks from the real world, where people will have tasks to bring home and to work on them, and then to come back next week and show their work, and basically to have that experience of working inside the real world environment. And this DevOps mentorship program is not only for the students, but it's also for the people who were, let's say, system admins, network administrators, developers, and they now want to transform their career from that path to the DevOps
Nice.
DevOps path.
So congratulations. I mean, 200 people, that's really very good. So you're making a lot of progress.
Well, if we compare that with what Andrew Brown is doing, this is on much lower scale.
Sure.
Another AWS community hero, Andrew Brown, started his AWS Bootcamp program, and I think that he now had more than 5,000 people registered. I try to bring it closer to the people inside Balkan regions by having that on our local languages, because
Sure.
here we can all, even if we speak different languages, Croatian, Bosnian, Serbian, Montenegrin, we can all perfectly well understand each other. And then I wanted to do it on our local languages, and it's not on such a big scale, but still I'm quite satisfied. And for sure, I will not keep it just on one cycle. Idea is to do this first cycle for 6 months, to have it as a proof of concept, to build some kind of the established pipeline for that program, and then to repeat it, but in, let's say, to repeat it and to have it, instead of the 6 months, to have it 2 months or so.
Awesome. No, this is no, that's how it starts, right? I mean, you start small. So you're definitely making a lot of progress. So my last question is going to be, so since you're having so much success, you're kind of trying to grow the community, you are involved, your sisters are involved, you're getting your the friends also involved. What is next for your local AWS community in Bosnia?
Well, besides the things which I already mentioned related to our universities, our main goal for this year will be the Community Day conference. We already tried in 2020 and we organized AWS Community Day Bosnia, but due to the COVID, we had to make it as a virtual event. And due to the amount of effort which we invested into organizing that kind of event, we were some kind of the disappointed that we didn't have people on premise with the in-person event. So for this year, we are planning to organize in-person event, AWS Community Day conference in Bosnia, where we will try to bring interesting speakers from all around the world, and to make it again a regional event, because it's not goal to keep all activities just on the inside the borders of the Bosnia and Herzegovina. We want to make an impact on the whole Balkan regions with our activities.
So are you kind of trying to have these in person in like local communities, local organizations as much as possible? And you do see a lot of traction of people coming in, wanting to attend these sessions in person. So is there any preference versus in person versus virtual?
Well, I think that people now are more looking forward to the in-person events.
In person events, okay.
Yeah, so we expect, the last time we had like 700 people registered for the Community Day conference from Croatia, Serbia, Montenegro, Albania, Macedonia. This year we expect even more people to register, and we will see. We have an excellent collaboration with other user groups from the region, with AWS User Group Belgrade. The leader is another AWS data hero, Goran Opancic, and also with the user groups from the Novi Sad. So we expect to have people from whole Balkan region coming to this Community Day Bosnia conference.
Perfect. Now that's it from me today. So thank you so much for coming to our channel, and I wish you good luck. And yeah, let me know if I can join one of those sessions virtually. More than happy to do the session, but hopefully this video helped in growing awareness within your local region and your local community. And thank you so much for coming again. So good luck.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It was a real pleasure. And thank you for helping to spread the word about our activities.
Absolutely. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.